Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, today we've got a very bold take on a real-life location. Wouldn't call this a one-to-one location, but one that is very strongly and heavily inspired by that particular location, clearly in Germany. What we got is very classily done with just the clues within it. The clues within it that might say to you that maybe, just maybe, this creator hasn't quite perfected their technique yet. And by that, of course, I mean...
it's my first map.
That's right. It's much better than you're imagining, because first maps clearly quite often can be a little bit of a train wreck. This one is far from a train wreck, but there are definitely things to talk about and things that might be talked about outside of the show, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But before we start with that, we'll always start with the daily reminder. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Dresden by Kaiser, and we won't go any further on the combination of those two names. Thank you very much. Think it probably is just coincidence, I hope. Anyway, let's have a little look at the start square, which is clean and strong and bold and strong and clean and strong. And then you have terrain heights, which are clearly, to me, taken from the real life location. Looks very smart to me. And the resources is not really a resource game. This is going to be more for the detailers, I feel. So if you like a detailer game, then you're good to go. And if you have Sunset Harbour and want to do some fishing, we've got a mix of fish in those rivers. You've done quite well, I feel, to get as many as you've got in there. Off to the workshop, what do we need? Well, mass transit is needed. You will need mass transit for this one, plus the creator content, bridges and piers DLC. And then we've got a fairly neatly written description with all the little categories all broken down quite nicely. Thank you so much for that one. Shout out to a load of creators there who have got assets within the build. And a shout out apparently to me for my uploading guide. Oh, you're very, very welcome. I'm here to help. Quite proud of that guide myself, actually. Right, okay, there is a one-click collection with a few things on it. So when I say a few things on it, there are probably a few things on this list that aren't absolutely required at all, I would guess. Then there's a whole bunch of things on here which are definitely required. I've no arguments about that as well. I think if you got rid of the few assets that aren't strictly required, this list would drop by about, I don't know, 5 or 10% maximum. It's over 200 items. Over 200. Now, a 200 item requirement list is absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine if they are used to the nth degree, and they're, for a first time creator, they've used them to the nth degree. But I think for 200 items, I'd want a Sidai or a Bringer of Fire, or I could go through the list for hours at Rutherford near map. What we don't have here is one of those. We're using the Dresden theme mix, which is I like. Yeah, your theme mix is on point, Kaiser. You've done really well with that one. And we're using the Relight Film LUT, which makes everything pop and is sharp and it's bold, and the whole map feels very bold, and I can approve of the boldness of the map. Yeah, if you're going to go for this, you're going to go for this. On top of that, we've got other mods such as obviously Theme Mixer 2. We've got Procedural Objects mod today as well, which is used on a particular area, which we'll be having a look at in the second half of the show. Is our first intersection. I like it. We have got obviously a little bit of slow moving traffic running through it. It's not strictly the most optimal, but I kind of like intersections not being strictly the most, blimey, see the car's taking the wrong route there, not strictly the most optimal, but sometimes I quite like that in an intersection, for it not to be totally optimal, because it just gives you something to be looking at, you know. Like this isn't strictly optimal, I mean, it's far from optimal. The car's completely ignoring the instructions. Look, turn right, guys. Right. Okay, the other right. That's right. Yeah, there's something to be said about that, I feel. Alright, very rocky area, like I say. This is, I don't know how rocky Dresden is, but I did go down into first person. It didn't look quite this rocky. But they have gone to town with the rocks for detailing. And, I'm all for the little bit of creativity. And it's sort of consistent across the map. Where we have these rocky areas, they do kind of create their own specific new sort of biome for the Dresden area. And so, yeah, if you're looking to do that one-to-one actual recreation of Dresden, it's probably not going to be the map for you for that. But in terms of the playability of the area and the amount of space that you've got to build into, and if you're looking to do something quite dramatic, and if you're looking to do a bold build, then if you cross Dresden out of the title of this and call it, I don't know, whatever, Clarkston, or whatever name, where Clarkston came from, I don't know, but call it whatever you like, or Neo Dresden or something like that. Hey, listen, yeah, New Dresden, that, there you go. I knew my brain would sort this out in the end. Yeah, we'll call this New Dresden, and you know what? I think that would kind of work quite nicely. It's like an alternative universe, Dresden. Anyway, yeah, it's bold. We've got a lot of trees as well, using the Tree Anarchy mod today. Slightly over 1 million trees, so you may possibly, especially when we get down to the rail, possibly see a little bit of stuttering. It shouldn't show too much because we have sped the footage up quite dramatically to smooth out some of the stuttering, but there might just be a little bit of stuttering, especially on the rail. Here's that start square with the roundabout not fully connected up, but that's fine. We can see what we may need to do here. Talking points here. Notice how everything gets really narrow around here. Yeah, there's a little bit of work to be done on networking around the map, and also the intersection marking tool mostly is pretty neat, but I'm not so sure about what's going on there. Right, over here to this intersection. We'll leap across here because I want to get back onto the highways without doubling back on ourselves. And yeah, we've got some quite neat work, like on the left here. I'm liking this. I'm liking the lane merging over here. And it's slightly clunky, slightly. Compared to other parts on the intersection, though, that is very smooth, though. Right, let's find the this is nice. This is pretty nice. Again, slightly clunky, slightly jinky, but not too. See, there you go. It kind of like widens up in the middle. And oh, by the way, Procedural Objects mod has given us some really lovely signs, very nicely done. And there is a couple of trees on the road here and there. You may have spotted one a bit earlier as well, but they are few and far between. Very, very few and far between. Now, this is what I mean by clunky. There's just so much about this that I'm just not happy with. Yeah. So I think I have mentioned that I've got a new show coming up for the BonBon Buddies on Patreon and YouTube membership. I think that's going to be a subject for YouTube Extra because we don't have enough time to sit and work over, because it's over a 20-minute show today anyway. These two trucks taking up, you will not pass. Yeah, will not pass. Anyway, yes, we will be. I think we'll be looking at that as the subject of YouTube. Of YouTube Extra, of What's Map Extra this week. Yeah, so if you'd like to become a BonBon Buddy, the link is in the description over on Patreon or as a YouTube membership, and you'll get an extra show each week, which could be up to about an hour long. I feel I haven't recorded any of these yet, so I'm not sure how long these will be. They might be even longer. Got a few trees encroaching onto the roads there. That's the worst of the trees on the road across the entire map. And then down to the edge of map here. So I think at this point go to the edge and jump across to the rail, which is fine. The rail is fine. Absolutely, the rail's lovely. Lovely, heavily detailed, bit of stuttering on the animation here. Again, not really much we can do here, short of turning the detail down on the trees. But then you get the old blocky pop-ins, and I think I'd rather have just a little bit of stuttering just for this short spell. So yes, so that's the whole point behind what Map Extra is. There's always something at some point in the week where you go, do you know what, I'd like to come back and have a look at this, or I'd like to have a try and fix of this. I think this week we'll have a look at that intersection, see if I can't polish it up and do something with it. Of course, a lot will depend on what else there is this week. There might be something even more pressing. Maybe we'll do two things. Loving the bridges. Loving the bridges. Yes, so there might be something even more pressing that I feel that we need to have a look at. But yeah, that's the whole point behind the new show. And for $2 a month, you're going to get 4 or 5 of those. On top of that, you get the scheduled show as well. That's every week. Behind the scenes, half an hour of me looking at the workshop, trying to pick the maps to review just from the screenshots and descriptions. And that's probably the most popular of all of the rewards that I offer. So yeah, plenty of things to be had. Be glad to have you along. Bridge here feels really very high. Hang on. Ah. Okay, right. Yeah, you can see how we're going uphill here as well. Right, so we're coming down the hill to then go back up the hill. So that could be smoothed out. Or better still, don't go elevated until much, much later. Maybe about here. That should give us enough clearance over the rail. And then we could drop down slowly after that. Possibly. Possibly. I think it's something like that. Or even the combination of pushing the rail into the ground so you get a little bit of a cutting, and then the bridge doesn't need to be more than like a short span. I mean, again, like I say, the whole thing of this map is it feels like a bold undertaking. Like here, like the rail here. And that heads off over there. Again, another nice bridge going on there. And then we have the main station. The main station, very neat. If I'm going to grumble about anything, we have a couple of clipping street lamps, and I'm not entirely sure about the elevated rail in the way that it's been done there. It doesn't look like it should be, but hey, I've not checked the actual station, so maybe it's exactly like that in real life. I don't know. Anyway, it certainly fits with the map, the boldness of the map. And then we have the loop around into the little harbour area over there, which we'll be having a look at in some depth in the second half of the show, because look, it's a little bit choppy, that water. Come back right after this.
Do your bridges look like the game's AI has gone on holiday? Would you like vanilla bridges to be proud of? Then you need the beginner's guide to perfect bridges by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And so back to the shipping routes on Dresden by Kaiser, and they run the length of the river, which is good. However, and we do have some settings for non-vanilla ships and the AVO mod, but if you have a look at that, how that goes through the middle, ships run either side of it, so you're going to get ships clipping through the pillars on either side. What I would do with the shipping route through here is actually run it through the pillar, and then you'll get the ships running either side of the pillars. I want to say ships, of course, these small river boats and stuff like that. But yeah, so yeah, you want to be having the AVO mod as well today. Water flow through the start square is fine. It's fine. It's wide enough. There's just about enough water flow going on there that I don't think you're going to have too much of a problem if you want to do the pumping and drawing game. Right, so the map as a whole, it's strong. It's strong. It's bold. Million trees. Good selection of trees though, and I quite like the tree painting today. I get a little bit of encroaching onto the roads here and there, but I do like the tree painting today. I like the boldness and the strength of the trees along the rivers, and the rock detailing along the rivers as well. All very nice work, very strong work, possibly overly strong, possibly. Now we have this harbour with the choppy water here. Now that's nothing compared to how it started. Here you go. This is how it started. I've sped the footage up massively, and yes, I've got the big vanilla ships at the moment. I only recorded the vanilla ships because of the I reset the map for this only, just to show you this. Well over 2 years in game, or 10 minutes in real-time speed for the water to be almost smooth. I think you probably might be looking at about 20 minutes to actually get properly smooth water in that harbour. But yeah, that's choppy. Just a little bit choppy. Now, it's just the first intersection that we saw when we did the flyover, and there's a lot I like about this. Okay, for a start, again, there's the crossover traffic that might slow the traffic down a little bit, but I love the way that it's been done. And we've got a couple of these big old billboards. Everybody loves a big old billboard. Bingo players, you can't have that one. Nope. And then down here, I love about this is this sign down here is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, come back when it's finished, guys. Come back when it's finished. Yeah, that gave me a proper lol moment, a real life lol moment. Now we've got the heavy rock detailing going on here, and this is procedural objects, so you're not actually using prop count here. They've gone a little bit to town with these. Hang on, bam, there you go. Got a whole bunch of them. And again, this is probably something that we could have a look at in What's Map Extra as to how maybe we could just be a little bit more efficient with our use of the procedural objects. But that said, they do look strong and consistent, and I like the idea of that. Now, I'm guessing this is based on a real life location, but I did go down in Google Earth and I couldn't find anything specifically close enough to this. But I'm sure I'm just missing it. And there's some sort of like structure up here with vineyards around the outside, which again we've got a little bit of you can see the underside of the vineyards from that side, and also actually from over here as well, along this edge here too. But I like the idea of the structure, and the general design of structures are quite fun. Around the map we have got some Dresden style buildings, or actual Dresden buildings I'm guessing in many a case. Probably quite a bit of work from Titan. I don't remember checking, but Titan's infamous for this sort of style of working. The farms, there's a lot of farm work around Dresden. a lot of green land around Dresden, which we'll cover when we get to the factoids, because factoids. But yes, plenty of interesting little farm areas and very aesthetically worked farm areas as well. So I think we can give a little bit of credit to Kaiser for the farm areas that have been done. Whether they work within the entirety of the map, I don't know, but I don't not know either. It's quite neat. We've already seen that one, so let's come over here. Right, okay, this little area here. This area is quite fun. Again, I'm not massively sold on it. I think it might be too big, but it's a campsite. It's a very big campsite. Maybe it's a very big campsite down by Dresden. The caravans along here, not quite sure how they got out here. Maybe just driving past the other caravans. But it's a big area, and we have a big beachy area, lake beach area, with lots of litter. Look, take your stuff away at the end of the day, please. I know the Germans are well known for putting their towels down and coming back later, but yeah, I don't know. If that was the UK, they'd be stolen. Oh dear, yes. Oops. Certainly not the part of the UK that I'm from, but there are certainly certain parts of the UK that if you don't nail it down, it's gone. Anyway, let's head back down to the start square for today's asset pack of the day. It's not even an asset pack, it's just an asset with 3 items in it. It's the JK Palm V1 by Reaper. How many times have I said Reaper's one of my favourite creators? They are one of my favourite creators, and now look, they're doing trees. They're doing trees to the standard of Mr. Maison. It's amazing. I'm blown away. Factoids? Yeah. Factoids are good factoids. Dresden is one of the greenest cities in all of Europe, with 63% of the city being green areas and forests. The Dresden Heath, dear. The Dresden Heath to the north is a forest of 50 square kilometres in size. There are 4 nature reserves. The additional special conservation areas cover 18 square kilometres. The protected gardens, pathways, parkways and old graveyards host 110 natural monuments in the city, and the Dresden Elbe Valley is a former World Heritage Site which is focused on the conservation of the cultural landscape in Dresden. Dresden! It's a green place. Green Cities DLC. How about that? There is a map. Here's a map for the green... you should have gone that way. Anyway, JK Palm V1 by Reaper, today's asset of the day. 3 different heights, and I love that because it just means that if you've got the Goldilocks zone. Is it too large? Is it too small? Use the one in the middle. Very nice. Anyway, what do you think of today's map? What do you think? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month. The viewer's choice top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple, or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, for a first map, I would say it was a bold extravaganza. And it was very bold and extravagant. Aesthetically, though, I don't know. Okay, let's say, yeah, it's clean, it's crisp, it's bold. It does what it wants to do, and it's, yeah, okay, right. We're gonna have to go 4 stars, but I'm gonna go low end because I feel that it could be done well with experience, a lot more polish. Detailing, there's a lot of detailing on the map, and there's 200 items required for it. I think I'm going to have to score the detailing down because 200 items, I want more than what we're getting. What we're getting is good, but... So I'm going high 3. Gameplay potential, I'm going to go very high 3, bordering on 4, Dresden by Kaiser. Reason why it doesn't get the 4th star? Again, it just feels like a detailer would want to play on this map, but a detailer is not going to want to have 200 items already subscribed to. So yeah, it's one of those fine balancing lines. I think that the main downside of this map is the fact that it just requires so much to get started. But other than that, spot on. Very nice. Anyway, good first map. And it's good if you're still here as well, because you're part of the 20 and out elite. Prove it by using the word of the day in the comments. Score yourself some population points just for fun, and I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Have a great day, and I'll see you very, very soon.